Welcome back to Straight to the Point. In today's video, we are going to be discussing that rather large island in southern Greece over by Turkey. That would be the island of Rhodes. And for those of you who are new to this channel, and especially these videos that I make, as the title would suggest, this is sort of a basic guide. This isn't a if you know, you know. This is meant for someone who is going to go to Rhodes for the first time, or perhaps you want to share it with a friend who hasn't been there yet and is looking to go. This video is for you. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and go ahead and turn on that notification bell so you never miss another episode. So now that we have all those disclaimers behind us, let's talk about Rhodes. So most people are going to want to fly into RHO, that is Rhodes International Airport. That would be the logical thing to do, which is of course why I didn't do it when I went to Rhodes. Instead, I actually took an overnight ferry, believe it or not, from Athens all the way to Rhodes. It was about 12 hours. I don't suggest it, I don't recommend it, and I actually don't know why I did it at that specific point in time. But yeah, to make your life simple, fly to RHO. Where you want to stay is going to depend on what you want to experience most of the time when you're in Rhodes. I did a little bit of research and I chose to stay by the Old Town in Rhodes. You want to stay there because you have a good mixture of culture, of history, of nightlife, a good mishmash of like the Old Town where it's all cutesy and touristy, but you also have like the real Rhodes where there's actual Greeks living and working right beside each other. So it's a good mishmash. I just feel like being by Old Town Rhodes or in the city of Rhodes just provides you with more things to do, more convenience. It's more vibrant, there's more things to see, and you're like smack in the middle of it all. Plus you even have some decent beaches. I feel like the northern tip of Rhodes is where you should definitely stay, right there with the Old Town, New Town. And just so you know, and you can pretty much choose anywhere, but I wanted a pool, so I stayed at the Amphitryon Boutique Hotel. Not sponsored, just letting you know. You could of course venture south and stay in Lindos. Lindos would actually be sort of my second recommendation if you're not going to stay in Rhodes proper. Lindos is like a traditional sort of like Cycladic or just Greek island village. It's quaint, it's laid back, it has really good beaches around it. We're going to discuss more about Lindos later, but it's actually a pretty good pick. Because of that and all its charm, I would definitely say if I'm not going to stay in Rhodes Town, I would stay in Lindos, hands down. There's also Faliraki. That's more, I guess, if it's like a family and you want to have that sort of like resort, beach town kind of feel, you want to stay in Faliraki. Not my cup of tea per se, but again, great for families and you want a laid back sort of family beach holiday. So what to expect? Rhodes is a massive island. For that reason, you shouldn't rent an ATV, you should actually rent a car. And I don't say that a lot about Greek islands, but a car is the route to go when you're exploring Rhodes because it's just too big. And because of its size, you can experience multiple different versions of Rhodes just like 30 minutes away. Like the drive between Rhodes to Faliraki is 30 minutes and it feels completely different. Actually, I think it takes about an hour and a half to go from the northern tip from Rhodes down to the southern tip of the island. And that's in a car. So for a Greek island, that's actually really massive. And to further that point, you actually probably wouldn't really truly know Rhodes on one visit. You'd have to go multiple times. Like it's not obviously as all-encompassing as Crete, because Crete is gigantic, but you know, you're definitely only going to get a little sliver of Rhodes when you go. The better beaches on the island are going to be on the eastern side of the island because the western side is actually quite windy. So you see most of the development, most of the towns, most of the beaches are going to be on the eastern side of the island. So when you go out in Rhodes at night, especially in the Old Town, you are going to see how Scandinavian Rhodes is. So I've mentioned this before in other videos, but sort of like different nationalities in Europe will take over different islands in Greece on their holidays in the summertime. And Rhodes has definitely been claimed by Norway and Sweden already. That's like their island. Like Eos and Rhodes share that in common. Like those two islands, Scandinavians just flock to it. So definitely expect to see a lot of blonde-haired, blue-eyed people, or just, I guess, blue-eyed people. A lot of Scandinavians, a lot of tall people. You're going to see them all over Rhodes. If you're not staying in Lindos, you should absolutely go to Lindos. Missing out on Lindos would be a huge mistake for anybody who's visiting Rhodes. It's honestly worth a full day trip. It has fantastic beaches around it. It has tons of culture. It's Hora, its center village, the Hora, is super charming. It's like very elevated, like in a peak, right? So it's kind of hard to walk around, but I guess get your steps in, right? It's fantastic. I really enjoyed Lindos, and you should absolutely go. The Acropolis of Lindos is just incredible experience to have those views, that history, you know, that culture right there. Forget about photo ops. Like, it's incredible for photo ops, obviously. Like, it's just a fantastic spot in so many different ways. Hot take, I'd actually say that the Acropolis of Lindos is actually more impressive than the Colossus of Rhodes, because the Colossus of Rhodes no longer exists. You just have the base of what was the Colossus of Rhodes, and then a bunch of like historical renders of what it once was. So you don't see anything. But the Lindos Acropolis, it's there. The whole site is amazing. Like, you need to go. Another reason to go to Lindos and spend an entire day or two there. Of course, you want to check out the Palace of the Grand Masters of the Knights of Rhodes. That was a bit of a tongue twister. Palace of the Grand Master of the Knights of Rhodes. So if you're a history buff, you're obviously going to love that as well. It's like a 14th century palace fort that was made famous and run by the Knights Hospitaller back when they were ruling the island. So they were basically a religious order that took a hold of the island in like 1309, and that was like their HQ, right? That was their spot. It was actually built on an old Byzantine structure, so you get that, and then later on the Ottomans took it over, so you get a little splash of that. So you're just like, it's like a gumbo of different cultures that have been through the island. It's actually really cool. If you geek out on architecture and culture, like, this fortress is just perfect for you, and it's definitely worth a visit as well. You can go for just a couple of hours and really sort of get an appreciation for the history, for the art. I did mention that Faliraki wasn't necessarily for me, but I do think that it is worth a visit. I mean, it's only 30 minutes from the main town anyway, so it is worth a visit. Kind of lay there on their beaches, which are kind of like darker sand beaches, have a drink or two. Why not? Especially if you're on your way to Lindos, then just stop by Faliraki. I hope I pronounced this right, but Enidriu Beach is at the tip of the island, like the northern tip, right there, and it's a really cool beach. Tons of space, which is good. It's definitely probably the largest busy beach in Rhodes. Have a drink, get yourself an umbrella, chill out. It's a good time, and that whole complex there too, like the whole sort of like imagine Las Ramblas in Barcelona, but like way better, and like nobody's stealing its grease and nobody's mugging you, so that's a plus. It gets busy, it's a vibe, go. So when I was staying in Rhodes, I took a little like side mission over to like the grounds of the Acropolis of Rhodes. So yes, Rhodes actually has multiple Acropolises. You have the one in Lindos and you have the one in Rhodes, like Rhodes proper. Photo ops aplenty. I personally love Greek history and Greek mythology, so just being there in like that little Olympic stadium and like the amphitheater, it's super cool. In essence, like the entire forum is like totally worth a visit, so you should absolutely go. Like, it's a good time. And right on the side of the road, actually, by St. Stephen's Hill, you're gonna get an amazing sunset view because you're so high up, and you're gonna be able to actually see Turkey because Turkey's right there, right? So you're gonna get an amazing sunset kind of dipping behind Turkey, and I think that's kind of cool. So when you're there at the forum, if you go at the right time, like in the evening, you'll be able to catch an incredible sunset, dipping below Turkey. I think you kill two birds with one stone. That's incredible stuff. So going out in Rhodes. Two ways to do this, and I'm only going to talk about Rhodes town proper because I didn't stay overnight in the other villages, okay? Not that there's probably much to do in Lindos at night. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. If you want to do Old Town, then you can go to Hippocrates Square, which is cute, whatever. It's going to be touristy, probably more families and stuff. Probably not going to get too lit. Or you can go to Menecleo Street. But Newtown is my shit. Awesome vibes there. Pay attention, write this down. You want to be on Orfanidou Street, okay? That's where all the bars are, between like that little roundabout and Kritis Street. That's where like the big bulk majority of the bars and the clubs are. That's where you want to be. All the young Scandinavians are out there, man. It's like if you're going out in Oslo or Stockholm, but everybody's tan. Like, I don't know how that happened. Rowdy but classy, like in EOS, right? Because Scandinavians aren't crazy like that. You know, the Brits, the Serbs, the Scandinavians, they can get rowdy, but they're not gonna start fighting and doing dumb shit. They're there till 3 in the morning, partying, beautiful women. They're all there. Of course, it goes without saying, you probably would have guessed, it's a really young crowd. Again, very EOS-like in that sense. You know, Orfanidou Street really takes over. A few bars to note: Waka Waka, Red Lion, Alexander, Big Brother. Those are the bars you want to kind of go to, but again, you can go anywhere and just start hopping, man. Hop. Don't stay in one spot. Hop. Again, I have a soft spot for that. I love my Scandinavians. I love that sort of like Laganas feel, but again, less sloppy, less rowdy. So Orfanidou Street it is. Trust me. Again, not to beat a dead horse, but it's a huge island. So grab your car, road trip. I would suggest road tripping during the day, checking out some of the small interior villages, get a glimpse of that traditional Rhodesian Rhodes lifestyle that you're not going to get in Lindos or Rhodes Town or any of those touristy villages. So my final thoughts on Rhodes are, it's actually one of my least favorite Greek islands, okay? You may have gotten the impression that, oh, he probably likes it. That's just because I love Greece, period. Greece is literally my favorite country on earth, and I enjoy my time in pretty much any island. But that said, to me, Rhodes didn't resonate as much as other Greek islands, maybe because it's probably a bit too big or whatever the case may be. At this point, I've been to 9 islands as of 2025, plus other cities. I have a good idea of Greece and the feel and the vibes, and I liked it. I think you are going to like it too, but if I'm going to be honest, I probably would not return to Rhodes unless I have a really extended stay in Greece, like I'm living there or something. Probably wouldn't go back. But again, I reiterate, it is worth going to. It's just, I'm like kind of a Greek expert at this point after 6 trips and a ton of places, and it's not my favorite place, but I do think that it provides something for everyone, whether it's single life, solo traveler, families, couples, whatever the case may be. Everyone's going to be able to carve something that they like out of Rhodes. And of course, it's still Greece. And of course, it's still always going to be an amazing time. Good culture, good food, good history, beaches, amazing people. People in Rhodes are incredible. Like, the locals are incredible. So definitely go. All right. Well, there you have it. That is my straight to the point guide on Rhodes. If you have any questions at all, you have a couple things in mind, please go ahead and drop them in the comments and I'll get to it as soon as possible. Of course, I understand this is a straight to the point guide, so you probably still have a lot of lingering questions. Don't be afraid to drop it in the comments, and I promise you I'll get to them as soon as I can. And don't forget to share this video with a friend who might be looking to go to Rhodes and hasn't been. This might help them in their search. That's all I could ask for, right? Help people out. That's the whole point of this video. So share it with someone who wants to go to Rhodes. Oh, and subscribe. Subscribe. The obligatory. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell like I mentioned before. And I'll see you guys on the next one.